like on page 4 of your worksheets, page 3 and 4, a lot of these intervals at the bottom of page 3, you see the last two measures are all fifths. And then you'll see all sevenths and seconds and just a variety of ways to try to limit what children have to figure out every single time. If you can't do intervals quickly, you can't do triads quickly, and you can't do chords quickly, and you can't part right at all. So, first off, you want to deal with semitones and whole tones and describe them as diatonic semitones and chromatic semitones and whole tones. From there, major seconds and minor seconds, then you're involving letter names in specific scales when you say major seconds and minor seconds. The next thing I do is the perfect intervals. After you do the whole steps and half steps, learn the perfect intervals, which are octaves, perfect fifths, and perfect fourth. Now don't worry about that the perfect fourth is a dissonant. We're just trying to learn intervals, like see the intervals. Okay, so if you can do everything with your octaves, fourths, and fifths, perfect octaves, perfect fourths, and fifths, that gives you a lot of the staff that you can deal with. There's a lot of things that you know on the staff. The other thing that we want to think about in learning intervals is to learn to do the inversion as quickly as we can do the original thing, and to take compound intervals and simplify them to simple intervals. A compound interval is greater than an octave. Now, we only use the terms 9th and 10th. We don't really do 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th unless we're talking about really jazzy chords. If we see this interval here, I would think of that as a fifth. I would. So we want to simplify and to be able to invert. Now, after you can do all your seconds of either type, major or minor, your perfect intervals, then you want to discuss what can do what, okay? Seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths may be major, minor, diminished, or augmented, okay? Unisons, octaves, fourths, and fifths may only be perfect, diminished, and augmented. As a theory teacher, it's very discouraging to see a student write a major fourth. It means they don't know anything, even though I wouldn't have assigned it if I hadn't been over it. That's very discouraging. So before, we've done our major scales, we've done our circle of fifths, we've done our key signatures, we've discussed parallel scales, we've discussed relative scales, right? Same key signature, major or minor, opposite. Now, how do we know what the relative minor is? Well, it's a 6th scale degree of the major scale, or it's a minor third below the major tonic. Or, if you can't remember, you can remember C and A, right? And just transpose from there. There is also a circle of fifths in minors. It's gonna go A up to E, up to B, up to F sharp, and that seems, oh, so hard, but F sharp's only 3 sharps, right? Up to C sharp is 4 sharps, and then C sharp to G sharp is 5 sharps, G sharp to D sharp minor is 6 sharps, and D sharp to A sharp is 7 sharps. Is that right? A sharp minor?
There's like one piece that has ever been written in A sharp minor, and it's like extremely rare.
I had a student goofing with me who turned in her final simple continuous binary piece in A sharp minor, which technically is not correct because it's not a Baroque key signature, but then I thought, oh, I'll just play it in A minor, but that even messed my head up more. By the end of the 6th measure, I could play in A sharp minor.
Dr. Holm had us in one of our keyboard classes try to find a piece of music in A sharp minor. None of us was able to except for Benjamin Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
He found one, and I was like, the only one that seems to exist. Found it in there.
How you even look that up? If you can't Google it, what do? All right, so as we proceed, we're kind of getting beyond elements of pitch. We've done our scales. Now we should know all of our intervals, and you've got to practice the intervals a lot. So let's take a look at one of our worksheets. Page 13. Page 13. Just take a moment and just do the intervals contained within the double bar. Don't do it between the double bar. All right? And as my instructions say, this is a problem with students. They don't read the instructions. Pay attention to the clef. It will make a difference in some cases. Some cases, not all cases. Now, if your students are really weak, make them write the note names too. But if they write things on their paper like letter names or write little keyboards on their paper, tell them to erase it before they turn it in, or they'll look like a singer. That's what singers do. Okay, let's just see how well we can do at this. Okay. When I am doing building tests and worksheets, when I do it for the freshmen, I time how long it takes me and I multiply by 10. And that's how long I give the freshmen. 10 times the amount of time it takes me. Sophomores, 10 times too. The work is so much harder. Although sometimes by the end of the sophomore years, some students can do it as quickly as I can. All right, how we doing?
Good man.
Okay, let's check my work. You tell me if I got it correct. Minor sixth, major seventh, augmented sixth, minor third. That's not a minor seventh, that's a diminished seventh, yes. Major sixth, diminished fourth, diminished fifth, and minor seventh. Problem I had wasn't paying attention to the clef. In beginning freshman theory, you really want to count off for that stuff, even if it makes them sad. Now, this is how I like to approach music theory, is take each problem and do it twice as if you had not done it once. So make no assumptions. Okay, so I look at the first one, I'm like, well, I know that D to B flat is a minor sixth, and then I do it again. I know D to B flat. Or, you know, I can use some other, yeah, B flat to D is a major third, so that makes it a minor sixth. Whatever. It's more important kind of when you get into part writing to, you know, check your work more thoroughly. If we weren't really quick on that, maybe we should do, oh look, on the next page, page 14. Okay, are we all ready? We're going to race. Okay.
I'll be
Mark,
last.
get set, go. Did anyone win? Stephen?
I left one blank.
Win?
I think I know.
You think you won that?
I don't know.
As you can see, Dr. Duran is challenging the students beyond what they're going to see in their music. This is just for math. This is just to train the mind to not be sloppy. Okay, the first one is a diminished fifth. Now the way we can know this and the way we approach our students is, well, we know E to B is a perfect white note fifth, so E to B flat is diminished fifth. All right, the next one, when I look at it, it seems like an augmented second, so we have to think through how does that, well, G to A would be a major second. If we expand that by making it G flat, that if it's bigger than major, it's augmented. The next one,
I wasn't thinking the clef.
huh?
I wasn't thinking the clef.
So,
I was thinking bass clef is so
oh, major second. Well, you know, that's also fun to do, is to do the same line twice, but not put a
Change
clef
the
on
clef.
it, and then just assign any of the clefs. As you do that, you can make more use of material. Okay, major third is D to F sharp. Minor sixth is B flat to G flat. So I don't know how you figure that out, but I know G to B is a major third. So G to B flat would be a minor third. G flat to B flat would be a major third, so its inverse would be a minor sixth. Do I think through that way? Probably not. The next one is a major third, just because it is. Next one is a major seventh. Now, when you see notes C and B, you need to tell the students, these are the first, this is the first major seventh we ever learned. You've got to know it now. Okay? Are we gonna all break together? He didn't get
He didn't get the memo.
It's just gonna have to slap a patch on him and hang in there. Okay, the next one is a diminished sixth. That one's troublesome.
Put a minor sixth.
Well, that's right. Okay, so how do you figure that out? E to C is a minor sixth. E flat to C is a major sixth. If you contract a minor sixth, it is diminished sixth. B flat to F, we should know, perfect fifth. F flat to D flat, well, that's a major sixth. You could transpose E to C sharp. See, that's a true transposition. It's not a fakey transposition. You're changing both letter names. So you don't want to do that, but you could check yourself that way. Well, F to D is a major third, a sixth. F to D flat is a minor sixth. So F flat to D flat is expanded again, a major sixth.
Or both tones lowered from F natural to D natural, both tones lowered a half step.
Exactly.
So it still would be a major sixth.
Exactly. It's like one of your mathematical properties if 3 equals 3, 3 plus 1 equals 3 plus 1. We're getting it's a little bit more complicated level here now. All right, intervals. Let's do the next page. 15. Now, a little experiment. Gonna do these as fast as you can. And Mark, second.
Yeah.
Okay, who's done? There's a reason why I want you to be able to do this as fast as me, because I'm the teacher and you are going to be the teacher. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Minor seventh, minor sixth, major sixth, perfect fifth, augmented fourth, minor third, perfect fifth, major seventh. Did I miss any?
I did. Wait, did you say that again?
Yeah, me
It
too.
does. Tell me if I missed one. Minor seventh, minor sixth.
That's the one I missed.
Yeah.
It is a minor sixth, isn't it?
Um,
Well, G flat to B flat is a major third, so B flat to G flat is a minor sixth. B flat to G is a major
It's
sixth.
G flat to E flat, it's treble clef.
Oh, darn
yeah.
it.
So it's a major sixth.
I got that one right.
Phew!
Go fast.
When I give my keys, to my students, I always say, check it. Okay, let's go to this again. Minor seventh, major sixth, major sixth. That's the same notes, right? Yes, no, no. Perfect fifth, augmented fourth, minor third, perfect fifth, major seventh. Okay? Turn the page. Since I missed that one, we're gonna do one more. On mark, set, go. Okay, everybody get them right? It's funny when you're like going real fast and come to one, it's like, I don't know what that is. What are the notes? I don't understand. Okay, we ready? Check your work. Perfect fourth, major second, minor third, major seventh, minor seventh, minor sixth, perfect fifth, major sixth. Any mistakes?
Say, would you say that again? I'm sorry.
P4, major 2, minor third, major seventh, minor seventh, major sixth, perfect fifth, major sixth.
Missed the major sixth. That was just because I was in a hurry.
All right. Let me check back with my contents. I never teach with a book, but I like the students to have a book. And then I will sometimes check back. I do have a couple of these. The 6th edition, I don't know what edition I'm on now.
Here, let me use this. You have.
Now these have really nice self-test. I think around page 15 where we go into scale degree names, example 117. Do you have the example 117 that shows the subdominant, the submediant, the tonic, the mediant, the dominant? Do you see that little graph? I think that's entertaining for some reason.
No, you don't get to look at mine.
Oh.
So I find myself oddly manipulative.
Okay, chapter 2 is elements of rhythm. I'm gonna skip that, as I always do. It may be more important, but I usually assign it to them, I just don't do anything with it. Now, here's the fun part. We finally made it to triads and semichords. My favorite thing. And I think we'll just go backwards on this and do, no, let's not. Stop. Oh, look, it's noon. We're doing so well. I haven't always been a famous music professor. I've worked in warehouses and other things too, and I've learned a few things in my life. If you're packing boxes for a company, work quickly, don't talk to your coworkers, and never look at the clock. And your day will go by fast, and everybody will want to talk to you. I mean, you don't be a snob. Or if you're working in a warehouse and you're not very strong, like me, carry a broom around. When the boss walks by, give it a push. Or if you're stuck without any tools, look up at a pallet up in the top of the warehouse. Oh. And then when there's time to be things to move, you say, dang, I'm not very strong. You guys are way stronger than me. I bet you I can lift that right up. And it's true. I'm not very strong. All right, a major triad. What we want to do is say, very first off, let's learn C major and let's never forget that. Okay? C, E, G is a C major triad. All right. What does a major triad entail? It is bound by a perfect fifth. It has sequentially a major third and a minor third. Okay? It is the, and we talk of these as the root, the third, and the fifth. That resonating with everyone? Without the third, we have no quality. All right? So when we describe triads, its expanded notion of the interval is that these triads are all three notes that have a root, a third, and a fifth, and they all have a quality. The four qualities of triads are major, and then minor, and then diminished, and then augmented. We think of this separately. It just doesn't occur in music that much. It's sort of like we want it to go up. We want that G sharp to be an A natural to form a first inversion A chord. We don't hear it as an independent triad. The beauty of it is that it is the only one with equal intervals, major third and major third. Okay, so we have major third, minor third, bounded by a perfect fifth. Then we have minor third, major third, bound by a perfect fifth. So the intervals are exactly the same between the major and minor triad, but the quality is different. Happy, sad, sad, saddy. Happy, sad. Happy, happy, sad. Okay? Again, we have this principle of equalness in the diminished triad. Minor third, with a diminished fifth. Now that's a very juicy chord. Where does the diminished triad naturally occur?
From the seventh. Diatonically, you mean? Or are you
Yes.
asking like for the scale?
In a scale, it is the unaltered 7 triad in the major key, and it is the altered 7 triad in the minor key. So let's do this. What are the major triads that we use? Well, in the major scale, 1, 4, and 5 are major. Okay, we understand that. In the minor keys, 3 and 7 are major. Those are the only naturally occurring major triads in the minor mode. We also include the 5 chord as a major triad because we alter it in the minor mode. We also occasionally include the 4 chord as a major triad in the minor mode, but that's very occasionally.
Which is only for using the melodic, right?
Well,
And that,
I'm gonna have to say your concept is right, your wording is wrong. It's only when we use the concept of the melodic minor scale. Yes, so it's just a typical professor saying you're wrong when you're right. Now, if we harmonize the sixth scale degree with a 4 chord, then that's when it becomes a major. If we have raised that sixth scale degree and we harmonize it, that's when it becomes a major 4 chord. Often we raise that sixth scale degree, but we don't harmonize it. Okay, what else have we got? Any other diminished triads?
the 2 in the minor mode, right?
2 in minor. Any other minor triads? Well, 2 in major,
2, 3,
6 in major. 2, 3, and 6. Okay, how about in minor? 1, 4, 5. Okay, is there, 5 is minor when it's not altered. Well, you wouldn't know the answer to that, so I won't ask that
Whatever was
question.
major was minor, whatever was minor is major. Like, the 1, 4, and 5 are major in major key, but in minor key, naturally occurring, they're, minor.
That's correct. It sort of only goes about that far, because then you get, well, minor in the major mode is what in the minor mode?
Different.
Yeah, so it's a little. There are mathematical reasons of all these things, but sometimes they profit us and sometimes they don't. When I took pedagogy of music theory, we spent several days talking about tuning systems. And that our music is written according to the tuning systems. And this was actually on my master's comprehensive exam, how tuning systems affected the music. And interesting study. Harvard Dictionary of Music is a good source for it. People don't look in that. When I went to graduate school, I got a brand new Harvard Dictionary of Music with Randall as the editor and a brand new Oxford English dictionary. This was my wife's gift to me when I went to graduate school, because she had asked a musicologist what I should have for grad school. These 2 dictionaries. Now we have our cell phones. You know, sometimes when I'll be teaching a class and I've made the point over and over, and I'll finally, it's like, just Google it if you don't understand, because that's as far as we're gonna get. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is look at, I wanna get to 7th chords before we quit today. So let's look at worksheet 12 and just identify the quality of the clef. And I'll show you how to play, okay? Everybody on page 17, worksheet 12? All right, so as I look at this, I would say minor, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, major. Okay, now let's go back and figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the first triad, and how do we explain to our students, how do we know this? It's C, E flat, G. It's the first minor triad we'll ever learn. Just know it. You don't have to figure that one out. Okay, G, B, D, that's dominant in the key of C major. We got to know that one. So we're not understanding things here, we're just knowing them. Now the next one is like, oh no. Now, if we know our white note triads, DFA is minor. So if we add a flat to all of them by the associative property, or one of those properties, commutative, or then that should also be minor. Now, troublesome, the next one, I don't know what I call this one. B flat, D flat, F flat should be diminished. What did I say?
You said minor.
Yeah, you said minor.
Liar. Okay, that's diminished. Okay, if we know BDF is diminished, then that is also diminished. Okay, DF sharp A, I just knew. EG sharp B, I also just knew. But if DFA is minor and I raise the third, it's major. Same for EGB, that's minor, I raise the third, it's major. Now, EGB is minor, that means with the flats it's also minor. Okay, if A flat, C, E flat is major, I just kind of knew that one, but ACE is minor, so A flat, C flat, E flat would be minor, so A flat, C, E flat would be major. Other ways is to count the half steps, all right? Let's do the next row. Are we ready? Second row. Diminished, augmented, diminished, major, diminished, augmented, minor, major. Okay, what'd y'all get?
No, major. FAC.
Oh, you were so right. The second to last one is major. It's not ACE, it's FAC. Okay. Okay, the first one, ACE, would be minor. If you contract the fifth, it makes it a diminished fifth, which makes it a diminished triad. Major being expanded is augmented. Minor being contracted is diminished. Major is major. D sharp, F sharp, A, we should just know is diminished. Several ways you could figure that out. D sharp to F sharp is minor, F sharp to A natural is minor, that makes it a diminished triad. D sharp to A is diminished, that makes it a diminished triad. Okay, C, G sharp, we already had that one, so we already know that one. FAC, I don't know that one. GBD, we already know that one because we've already done it. So keep that in mind with your students. If you've already done it, remember it, and then you don't have to figure it out. Ready for the next line? Are we ready? Oh, that one looks too hard. Major, minor, minor, augmented, major, major, augmented, augmented, diminished. Any mistakes there? Well, let's see. D flat, F, A flat is major because we know it is. ACE is minor, we should know it's minor. F sharp, A, C sharp, how do we know that's minor? FAC is major, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp is major, so F sharp, A, C sharp is minor. Or F sharp to A is minor, A to C sharp is major, so that makes it minor. F A C sharp is augmented because we've expanded a major triad. E G sharp B, we've raised the third of a minor triad, and B D sharp F sharp. Okay, now let's think of other things that would help your students learn their triads. What are all the white note major triads? C, E, G, F, A, C, G, B, D. So we can learn all those. Okay, what are the black, white, white major triads? B flat D F. Is there another? Is there a white, black, black?
B, D sharp, F sharp.
Right. So anything that involves a B, you have to count. Does that make sense? You have to make that half-step adjustment. Okay. So let's think of all black note triads. F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, or G flat, B flat, D flat. That's all black notes. Okay? So, how many white, black, white triads are there? D, F sharp, A, E, G sharp, B,
A, C sharp.
A, C sharp, B.
B, yeah.
Okay? How many black, white, black triads are there?
D flat, F, A flat.
Yep,
E flat, G, B flat.
that's right.
A flat, C, E flat.
That's right. Okay? Alright, so what we start with is, what are all the white note things? Okay, if it's a white note major scale, that's C major, so it's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Okay? So we can change those notes. Sometimes it just gets confusing to people to just have all of these rules and stuff. So one thing you want to memorize is, what line are we on?
About going on. We just finished the third, so going to the fourth.
Okay.
And it's a bass clef.
Oh! Okay, we ready? I'm ready. Here we go.
This was clever.
Major, minor, minor, augmented, major, major, augmented, augmented, diminished.
Which is the exact same thing as the line above it. Simply transferred to bass clef.
Change that.
Yeah, I think it means something to recognize that.
I was like,
Yeah, I'm sure I recognized it when I did it, but that could have been 10 years ago. Okay, so that one was easy-ish. All right, we good with triads? There's a lot of ways you can teach them. What you want to avoid is having students do things that aren't exactly right. If they can't do it any other way, make them figure out every interval. Okay? So let's take that next line with the, all right, I have a D sharp, F sharp, A. There's a minor third and a minor third, that means it's diminished. Do you see how important interval spelling is? And the thing is, children don't realize that it's important until they've already been slowed down on subsequent things. Okay, the next one. C to E flat is minor, E flat to G is major, that makes it minor. Okay. So I would start the teaching with that, and then move on to these other things that I mentioned, which were a lot, right? This may sound a little demeaning, but we don't want the students to work according to like old wives' tales, like, because they'll get things a little confused. They'll take two things and put them together, and they don't make sense anymore. Trying to think of a metaphor for that. Make hay while the sun shines, bird in the hand, in the bush. Okay, now for my favorite stuff, seventh chord.